Latex-based hair pieces are probably the easiest kind to make. These are some of the supplies that you'll need. Going back just a tad, right there. We have a plastic form to get the eyebrow shape. You could make these on a flat table, but then it would wrinkle along the edge when you're finished making the piece, and you'd have to deal with the crimping that occurs. So I like a curved section that I'm working on here for the eyebrow. That works for mustaches and beards as well. Try to work on a curved surface. I tape down the mask so it doesn't move around. Here's the liquid latex in a small container. Try to save the larger bottle and keep it safe all the time. Sharpie to mark off the edge for general beginning reference, and scissors to cut off the wig pieces and apply them to the edges of the eyebrows in layers, and hair dryer to dry the layers of liquid latex in between coats. Powder will be used later. There's a second or third or fourth coat of liquid latex, and you see that it's drying clear. And here is the dryer in action. And I'm making some smaller pieces on the table to add additional distance to the eyes. Be careful about the edges of the liquid latex as you're working with it. It will congeal. And you want to cut off that part with the scissors and continue working with a clean sponge and fresh latex at all times so that you can control it. Use tiny sponges and cut those up to your whatever shape and size. This is the third coat. And I'm gently removing the latex using a sharp instrument and then a brush with powder on it to lift up the pieces of liquid latex that I'm going to add to the latex I used prior to this. There's a piece of latex sponge that was cut off. Line it up to where you want to put it on, glue it on, put some glue on the latex glue on the piece, and then place the piece, and then put some latex glue on the outside to bind all the two pieces together. Now we have that fold occurring, and then I can build up the fold using a brush and liquid latex to get a nice round draw of the brush. Draw the brush from the top to the bottom, and it will come out nice and smooth into a drip like this that can be shaped and formed as thick as you want it to be. Here I'm going to cut off curls in layers and apply them to the liquid latex base. I line them up, get the angle right, put down some liquid latex and stick it into the hair area and make sure it's saturated, and then place it. For precision placement, I can cut this piece of hair and liquid latex before applying it so that I have like a fairly straight edge here. And then work my layers to control the shape of the eyebrow. All the hair will flow this direction, and so you start layering from the outside to the inside. Here's the fanciful eyebrow for Henry in Fantasticks. You can see this outside of the area of the eye is going to just hang over her real eye. I powder this and then gently peel it up using my fingernail and then powdering it for later use. If latex isn't powdered, it will stick to itself, and you want to avoid that. Building up a mustache in the same way, layering from the outside to the inside, and then powdering the liquid latex when it's done, and gently peeling this up helps me to make a mustache and a goatee as well. Pushing the powder underneath, drying the pieces with the powder so that they don't stick to themselves. Now you can use the scissors to continue to shape and to reduce the size of the latex, and then put the latex piece, I trimmed this one, onto the face. Then the mustache is applied using prosthetic adhesive. Prosthetic adhesive is also applied to the top area of the brow. Be very careful that you do not go into the eye with the prosthetic adhesive, so make sure that the eye is covered with a cotton pad or a napkin of some kind to protect the eye. For removal of these pieces, it's the same thing. Protect the eyes at all costs, and then take a brush with some alcohol on it, 91% alcohol, and gently find the edge by using the alcohol to dissolve the adhesive above the latex piece and gently remove it. Treat it like a bird's nest, very, very gently, and then powder it, and it can be used for the next production. Remove the excess powder just before applying it for the second application. Here's the reference photo, and I'm shadowing and doing the rest of the makeup. I'm trying to match the top to the skin, and then doing my detailing here using shadows and highlights to get the major planes of the face to show up. No chocolatey thick lines here for age, please. Just enough to do the job, and remember that folds and creases are gradual. So you're going from a highlight here, high highlight, to less highlight over here, so that this appears to be standing out the most. That could use a little more highlight here, a little more highlight right along the edge here, and make sure there's makeup on the lips to give her an older age effect. And that's it.